Crazy upsets inside of BLGS day number 2, and who's going to the finals, who's won the finals for some of the regions, and obviously there is a lot of drama, as you can tell by the title. We've got some stuff to cover about some of the environment system, the atmosphere, the dynamic of some of these rosters right now, what they're struggling with, who got upset from this. Let's dive into it. Firstly, I wanted to make mention from the ALGS, not BLGS, championship scrim results. Oversight kind of not only gave these here's like a weekly recap update, but also some fun facts. I think this is important going into the BLGS results because you'll notice not everything correlates, right? You see ALGS teams you think the best in the world, but you're watching some of these teams time after time again getting upset in the BLGS. So Falcons Esports number 1 overall, Moist Esports in second, Liquid in top 3, Crazy Raccoon, Cloud9, Alliance, Fnatic, Furia, LG, that's a big one to note here, in 9th, and Guild in top 10. LG, by the way, in 9th, in the top 10 with only one set of scrim results to show for as well. Random facts 1, Falcons have the most wins at 4 days 1, but they all come from week 2. Highest scoring win was by Falcons with 108, and lowest scoring win was by TSM with 74. Random facts number 2, most passion by C9 and Complexity with 9 days of scrim results. So you see who's putting in a lot of work, who's not. And might I say, LG possibly should have been putting in more work, because one set of scrims and they are one on the chopping block that has been eliminated from BLGS. And also you'll notice some of these other teams not struggling, those that are putting in a lot of work. So let's dive into those BLGS results right now. Starting it off with round 4. This is where the day started. If you missed, it's basically a recap of yesterday, and we'll also talk about where we're going into the finals. So group 1 here, not too bad. Cloud9 up here, Stallions up here, TSM, all the good teams showing their signs of life. You did have some teams that are final teams, like 5-star, like Gucky down here. These teams should have made it, unfortunately didn't make it. DNA also, the Nick Merckx team, did not make it, dead last year. Some upsets, but honestly, it's getting later on in the tournament. I guess some of this is to be expected. Moist Esports crushing it in group number 2. Lone Sharks, which is the former Bleed Esports roster. Furia up here. Thuggets, Redeem, a lot of teams you know and love. No big deal. Nothing crazy upsetting here. Maybe besides status quo with Panic and J-Trips and all J-Dot. All those guys are really, really talented. I would have expected them to go a little bit further, but still, like I said earlier, later on in the tournament, kind of expected. Falcons, once again, soaring through the competition like no problem at all. Oblivion in the 2nd place position. Virtus Pro, right, just recently signed after the Elevate switch, in 3rd. NRG in 4th. Complexity in top 7. You do start to see some crazier results as we get into the next round. I also think Womp Womp getting 12th place here, maybe a little bit of an upset, being that they do normally make it later on in the tournament. Then you've got Liquid Alienware, round 4, group 4. Liquid Alienware in 1st. You've got Twerkaholics up here, Tripods, Purple Slushy, LG, all these teams that we know that are consistently doing well. No major upset besides one, and that was 100 Thieves. Now, given Rambo was having to substitute again, they didn't do too bad last time. They were having to play with Rambo, but Jin Burton's still not on this roster. It's hard to take this bad performance that serious. To be honest, yes, you could probably still classify this as an upset if you wanted to. Then you move on to the semifinals. Things get a little crazy here. As you move into the semifinals, we start to see Cloud9, right, 1st place. They've looked strong all this time, and I told you guys that is important because they've also played some of the most Apex here as of late. They've been really grinding this lately, and all those scrim sets for ALGS, they have not really missed. They have been passion, and you're seeing that in the results. Cloud9 1st place. Broskies, why might I say South American team as well. Those guys are crushing it, considering this is a, United States heavy North American scene. Furia also in 3rd. Lone Sharks, Moist Esports, all your good teams up here. TSM barely getting by here in 10th place. Dragon, Stallions all make it. You do have some upsets, I guess, right? Thuggets, Pro League team, should have probably made it. Redeem, another team that we all kind of pay attention a lot to with Z Davis, did not make it. But I would not say any major upset until we get to this one. This is group number 2. This is where things got a little out of hand. Liquid Alienware in 1st. Durags, Falcons, top 3. NRG in 4th. Purple Slushy, Fire Monkeys, Tripods, Odium, also known as an Ape Gang, are all that made it from this round. And you could see some of the upsets are as follows. LG get knocked out before they even make it, or they don't even make it to the finals, right? This is basically another Falcon situation that we saw from week 1. LG does not make it to the finals. You've also got Complexity not making it to the finals. A little bit of an opposite. I just said Cloud9 played a lot. They did really well. Complexity really also played a lot, but didn't have that same result. So I guess it doesn't always speak for every scenario. But LG, on the other hand, definitely struggling. Now, I also want to make mention, LG not only didn't play a lot of ALGS scrims, but they also struggled in yesterday's video. They very come super duper close to getting eliminated early on, day one. That would have been terrible. Still, this performance is not up to par, and that's definitely not what they were going for. Virtus Pro also here in 17th. This is the newly signed Elevate roster with Zachmazer, Lou, and Slayer. Unfortunate circumstances for them, but as we go into the finals, obviously we've got a lot of teams that you love, and I think all the big heavy-hitting teams besides just a handful are going to be in this. So it's going to be a good one. Now, there are some conversations being spoke about LG and the drama behind this. After their bad result, they definitely had some conversations, some pain points throughout the tournament, throughout the entire day. You could tell things just aren't clicking the way that they should be, or even the way that they used to be, right? We've seen some good signs of life from LG. We've seen some top fives, some top threes. We've seen good results from them. They are not a stranger to good results. They are definitely capable of doing better than what they're doing. But right now, things are not clicking, and this is pretty painful to listen to, knowing that they're getting bad results and they're having bad communication inside of some of their games. If you haven't seen these clips already, here's a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look in the atmosphere and environment from LG. Roll the clip.
Yes.
Because this is
Jesus
the most insane
Christ.
gaslighting I've ever fucking heard.
Bro, who is gaslighting? I'm just saying how I've interpreted your comm. And no way am I blaming literally anything on you. I'm saying we just needed to chill in the back spot, and that's on me. I was literally entirely saying my thought process that game. And no, bro, holy shit, man. What has happened to you? What is with all this just like pent up anger and yelling at people and going in their chats and like freaking out on them? Like, Jesus Christ.
Are
Like,
you
this
getting
shit.
mad at me for?
You're just not, you're not real lately, bro. You're like a mall baiting, screaming lunatic in the fucking mic.
Dude.
Please.
Like, Sykes, and I'm not the only person who feels that.
Sykes. You need to chill, bro. You're crashing out.
You
Bro,
guys
you are literally
getting annoyed at me for shit talking some randoms.
Oh, no one's annoyed about that, Sykes.
Funk, let me talk. No one fucking talk in the mic. You were critiquing something that Funk did that was not true. You literally stop fucking talking and listen to me right now. Sykes, your critique should have been to me. If you want to fucking yell at somebody that game, because the main reason we lost that game is because we're just roaming around the fucking map, and that's my fault. You can fucking yell at me and say, sweet, play the fucking game normally. Call these games to just sit in a spot and win for free, right? You just randomly took your anger out on Funk, who started a fight that I said was okay, but then only after Funk took contact, I got thirded in the back. He did nothing wrong in the first fight. And now I don't want to hear some bullshit from you, Funk, like, bro, yeah, like, I don't want to hear that. It was just a fucking miscomm. Literally, just stop. Your critique should have been how the team is playing the game, and that's my fault, okay? And that's exactly what I shifted the focus of the fucking conversation to afterwards.
Now, a part of that loss came from a contest loss over at Lava Siphon as well. This was coming from Spaz. I really like to see some of these, underrated teams. The whole point of the BLGS is that everybody's getting a shot. Everybody's getting their chance in the limelight. You are seeing some of these pro teams that are getting paid thousands and thousands of dollars losing to teams that are not getting paid a single dime, just trying to show their worth in this game. So I really like these up and coming stories. Really nice clutch up here from Spaz and his team, able to take out LG in the contest. But I think that obviously this is going to show you there's a lot of untapped talent here from BLGS, and they've done a great job at showing that. Also wanted to make mention the EMEA scene as we move away from North America and we take a look. Obviously Tuesday our finals are going to be pretty stacked. We'll talk more about that tomorrow because we are going to be skipping a day. And EMEA, on the other hand, they also have some results to talk about. Noctum Esports in round 3 group 1 first place. OAH, also the former Navi team, they've been really consistent lately, and I feel like they always do that in the group play stages, so good on them for continuing that same sentiment that we've always had. Full English, Atlas, VKM, Free Agent Kids, VBZ, Team Listen, Goon, and Golem in the top 10. Really no major crazy upsets from what I've seen so far in Group 1. Alliance, all these top guys, NIP, Forbidden, Eternal, all up here, all looking pretty strong. Nothing crazy inside of Group 2 either. Exo Clan, go next. I will say, I gotta say that this new meta, I feel like, has made the game a little bit more consistent. The teams that are the pro teams are definitely, I would say, that week 3 has been the most consistent qualifications we've seen from these pro teams. I feel like less upsets have happened. There are still some, of course, but overall, I think we're seeing a lot more consistency. FaZe Clan, No Days Off, Phoenix Legacy, all these guys up here in the top 10. And then you go into group 4, Aurora up here, Stay Healthy. A lot of these teams that you know, very familiar with, all in the top 10, moving on into the semifinals. As we do get into the semifinals, group 1, you've got Alliance, NIP. I really love to see this from NIP, by the way. You guys know they struggled in week 1. There was all this argument coming from Nasky, basically yelling at his team. If I say jump, you say how high. You guys have got to listen to me. You've got to get behind me. You've got to trust me. And a lot of people commented on that video and were complaining at the way that Nasky was leading his team. But it seems like the results are definitely coming through. Second place for them, Eternal in third, knocked him in fourth, OAH, Forbidden, Golem, Atlas, Team Listen, and Goon in the top 10. This is where you start to see some upsets. Free Agent Kids, obviously a very well-known team, will say goodbye. VBZ as well, moving on. Full English also. So Max Strave's team, unfortunately, also eliminated here early. Group 2, also Danish in first place, 202, Stay Healthy, Aurora, BRG, Go Next, H2D, Team Tall, Exo Clan, and Nonchalant in the top 10. You do have some upsets here as well. FaZe Clan in 13th place, eliminated. No Days Off here in dead last. SJP2, another good team with Denze & Co., also eliminated. Yes, you're starting to see some upsets, but honestly, semifinals, it's like a weird blurry line. Do you really call it an upset? Maybe because they are big pro teams. You can't be having a FaZe Clan tag and then not making it to the finals, I guess. But these teams are not playing, I guess, terrible. And FaZe Clan definitely was well within reach of making that finals, but just did not happen in this ticket. Now, also, the APAC South finals have already been completed. Congratulations to Makers in first place. Do want to make mention, you'll probably notice what in the world happened here. Guild is also tied for first place at 74 points, also with a first place best placement. However, they did have less kills. Makers won the tiebreaker. That's with Zicky, Asia, and Dexter. These guys have been grinding together for so long. I love that this team, his roster has stuck through thick and thin. These guys have been together for a hot minute, and I'm glad that they're seeing the results they're looking for. Guild also, obviously, the phony guy. You know, that guy from North America who flew his entire life over to Thailand so that he can compete in APAC South ALGS champs because he lost his roster spot after the space station split after he won a LAN event and split 2 playoffs. Crazy story, by the way. If you guys are just joining the ALGS scene and you have no idea what I'm talking about, one of the craziest esports stories of all time, to be honest with you. Like, how in the world do you win a LAN event and then the team splits up? Crazy stuff, but Guild in second place did very well. I'm sure they'll continue to get better, and obviously Phony's got a lot of work to cover as far as catching up to these North American rosters, especially on LAN. Hopefully he's able to do so because I think the guy deserves it. He's been grinding a crap ton. Also, you got to make mention, Roey has been so consistent. Obviously one of the fan favorite APAC South players. Roey is doing really good with Lonely Get Gone. These guys have been like top 5, I think, every single BLGS final so far, and he does it again. So very nice work on LLG. These guys have been looking very solid. Heroes also in the top 6. X and Y, Bear Claw Gaming, Team Burger, a lot of teams you know in this APAC South region. Unfortunately, VKG, Weibo Gaming, some other teams that you know inside of this scene did not do super solid, but at the end of the day, BLGS finals, at least they made it. You're watching some of these big North American teams not even make it, so congrats to them. Also, you're going to be looking at the finals today. Right at the time of recording right now, APAC North is not completed. They will be competing as you're probably watching this video, so make sure to go stay tuned if you want to go watch it. However, going into this finals, you're going to see Crazy Raccoon, GHS Professional, VAG, Poise, Boss, GO, Riddle Order, Funny Loco, YNB Gaming, and whatever this says. Not very familiar with this roster, and also definitely cannot read that name. But group 2, you also see Fnatic. Really interested to see how Fnatic does, because Fnatic has been a top team for a while now. They've been in not only just they're a good APAC, I mean, they have been in conversation amongst all North America, EMEA, top 3 at the LAN this year. They have looked like a solid winning team that could actually take it all, like take champs. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if a team like Fnatic were to win ALGS champs. They are not bad. They are not to be undermined. I think this team is serious, and I've been hyping them up for a while, but we haven't really seen this dominant form of Fnatic in a while. But 109 points in semifinals to make it in finals looks like a pretty good Fnatic to me. They're also going into this finals. You also got LFT, Bakemon, Aquarium, Meteor AG. Red Rams, another very known team inside of the ALGS scene from what they did earlier this year. Interforce 36, Minions, ICU, and RRX will make it. Unfortunately, Reject Winity will not be making it. and that's probably one of the bigger teams from this roster. Very unfortunate and kind of sucks when you think about the whole drama, or the whole past, I guess I wouldn't say drama, with Karen P, you know, in 13th here, not making it with Reject Winity. That roster of Reject Winity won, and then they transfer to Crazy Raccoons and they leave Karen P behind. So, you know, it just really sucks, but I wish that team would have stayed together. Wish that roster could have salt more days, but we'll see how all of these teams stack up in just a couple of moments. Right now, as the video is being recorded, we're getting ready to start these finals up. So I'm sure you guys will be seeing these results very soon. We'll keep you up to date right here on the channel as well. Let me know what your thoughts are about this LG situation, and is there a breakup on the rise? Obviously, it's not going to be too soon because we've still got champs to get to. And honestly, all this BLGS stuff is completely irrelevant if they can win champs. If LG has a good, strong presence in showing at champs, all this BLGS not qualifying, all that stuff probably goes on the back burner and isn't talked about as much. But right now, it definitely is affecting their environment going into champs. You got to think about the mental game in all of this. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all things inside the world of Apex Legends, esports, news, drama, stories, and much more. Until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.